Welcome to Family Faith Creek. I am so glad that you are part of us today, and my name is Kathy Hagedorn. And today I have something special on my table. I have a candy bar that I am going to share. Now you may be at home with a brother or a sister, and if you had a candy bar and we're going to cut it to share, how about if I cut it right here? And one person gets this part and the other person gets this part. You don't like that idea? How about if I cut it right here? And one person gets this part and the other person gets the other part. Does that sound like a good plan? No? You don't like that plan either? Today we are learning about two of Jesus' disciples. And they have a favor to ask of Jesus too. They think they're very important. Let's listen out of the Bible. Their names are James and John. James and John came to Jesus. "Teacher," they said, "we would like to ask a favor of you." And Jesus says, "What do you want me to do for you?" They replied, "Let one of us sit at your right hand in your glorious kingdom. Let the other one sit at your left hand." And Jesus says, "You don't know what you're asking for." Jesus said, "Can you drink the cup of suffering I drink? Or can you go through the baptism of suffering I might go through?" "We can," they replied. Jesus said to them, "You will drink the cup I drink, and you will go through the baptism I go through. But it is not for me to say who will sit at my right or left hand. These places belong to those who are prepared for." The other 10 disciples heard about it, and they became angry at James and John. And Jesus called them together. He said, "You know about those who are rulers of the nations. They hold power over their people. Their high officials order them around. Don't be like that. Instead, anyone who wants to be important must be your servant. And anyone who wants to be first must be the slave of everyone. Even the Son of Man did not come to be served. Instead, he came to serve others. He came to give his life as the price for setting many people free." Well, what does that all mean? Jesus is telling the disciples here that everyone is important to him. In the Bible times, when they had a big banquet, a big dinner, and the king was sitting, important people sat to the right and to the left of them. So the closer you were to the king, the more important you were. And that's what James and John were asking. They wanted to sit right next to Jesus. And Jesus is saying, you know what, guys? Everyone is important. Everyone is being prepared to be in heaven with him. That one person is not more important than the other person. And Jesus tells his disciples, you know, I'm going to be suffering and I'm going to be dying. You guys may have to suffer too by following me. Has anybody made fun of you at home? Sometimes that happens, or at school, because you are doing the right thing. That's some of your suffering that you are doing. Let me read out of this part about being an important person. Sometimes you may be always wanting to be the leader in the game. Is that being really important? Is that serving others? Not so much. What about bragging about high grades? When you're bragging, not so much. When you only want the best players on your team, is that making you feel so important? Or always saying, I'm right, do it my way. That's kind of, you're trying to be important to others. Or never listening to other people's ideas. You know, that's saying, I'm important, I'm important, I'm important. Well, how about serving others? Like taking turns being a leader. Helping others with homework. That is being a servant. Wanting friends on the team, even if they're not the best players, invite them on your team. Or sometimes you give in to others. That's serving others. And listening to other people's ideas. That is serving others too. Jesus tells us that He wants us to serve others. Did you know that it is about 6 months before Easter? And when Jesus died on the cross, He had 2 criminals on the left and the right side of Him. They weren't all the important people. Jesus is welcoming everyone, that we all are important to Him, and we will all have special places in heaven with Him. This week, take some time to serve others. Take some time to welcome others. Let us fold our hands to pray. Dear God, we want to love You. We want to be Your special servants. Teach us how to care for each other. Help us serve in Your name. Amen. And by the way, the candy bar, I am going to share it with some other people, and I will share it equally. Have a great week.